Hello! Today we're going to be talking about the color wheel and how to use it as a painter. And I'm going to actually mix a couple color wheels here on this pad of paper. It's actually kind of cool. It's this canvas paper, so it's just the same stuff that's on stretched canvas but on a pad of paper. Kind of nice for practicing and doing little things. Anyways, yeah, I want to talk about mixing a color wheel because I use this all the time. Anytime I do a painting, I'm thinking about the color wheel, which starts with three colors, which I have here. We have yellow, which is at the top of the triangle here, and we have red over here, and a blue. So I have some beginner acrylic paints here, some stuff I got at Michael's that I'm going to start with. I actually have another set of three colors here. Another yellow, another blue, and another red. Now, why would I have two different kinds of yellows? Why not just one? Why not just one kind of red? And the answer to that is that all blues are different. Different kinds of blue paint is slightly different colors of blue. So, for example, this red, which is a nicer, let's see, I have this nicer set of paints, so I'm going to use the beginner paints plus these Liquitex professional acrylic paints. This is called quinacridone crimson, and this is more of a, if I'm on the color wheel here, this red is a little bit towards this purple. It's maybe in the middle. It's not towards the yellow. So reds can be a little bit more orangish or yellowish, or we can have paints that are a little bit more purplish, but it's rare that a paint will be right on red, not towards either one. This other, more beginner paint actually is a little bit of a, what I would say, warmer red. So it's a little bit, going counterclockwise, I suppose, on this wheel. So these are slightly different reds. This is going to be a little more purple, a little bit more orange. Now, why that matters is because when we mix it with, say, a yellow, so I've got yellow up here at 12 o'clock, and this yellow, actually, same thing. I can have a more of a cool yellow, so that would be more green, or I can have a more warm yellow, which is more orange. This is actually a cool yellow, so I mix a cool yellow with a cool red. So if I mixed these two, then I would get an orange that is being pulled towards the center by all the coolness. So orange is the opposite of blue. This is kind of where it gets complicated, is that anytime you have an opposite color mix happening, it makes it more gray. So I'll show all this as we go on, but just to be kind of technical, using the color wheel you can mix colors, so mixing red and yellow you'll make orange, or if I mix let's see, blue and yellow, I'll get green. But usually you're not mixing straight yellow, it's kind of an orangey yellow. And if you mix orange and blue, it gets gray. So essentially, if I try to mix a cool yellow with a cool red, I'll try to get to orange, but it'll stay more gray. The middle of the circle I think of as gray. So we're gonna expect, if I mix those two colors, that I won't be able to get a bright orange. It won't be possible. So that's the cool thing about different colors of paints, is you'll get different possible colors with different combinations. So if I choose a cool yellow, then everything in my painting is going to be a little bit muted in the oranges and in any warm colors. And if I choose a warm yellow, then all of those nice warm reds will be more apparent. I don't know if that makes much sense, but just wanted to get you thinking about how mixing colors makes different colors, depending on which ones you start with. So let's get painting. I'm gonna, where's my mouse? Going to get rid of this color wheel. Wait. There we go. So we can see. And I'm gonna start with these beginner paints first. So I already noticed that this red, it's kind of towards the center, but I think it looks a little bit warm. Or a little bit orange instead of purple. Reds can be either orange or purple. You know what? I'll put this color wheel down in the corner just to reference it. Like, it's a little smaller. Right there. So yeah, this one, I guess it depends on the light, but I think this one's a little bit of a yellowy one. This yellow is kind of cool, like leaning towards green. But it's just called brilliant yellow. And then this blue is, it could either be greenish or it could be purplish. And I think this is a greenish blue. So that would be, yeah, more of a green blue. But it's very slight. I mean, it's mostly blue. But it's, again, gonna push one way or another around the circle. And that will result in different mixable colors. So I'm gonna try to just copy this color wheel with these three colors. So I'm gonna start with the raw color. So I'll start with what we call primary colors. So that's red, and I'm gonna try to copy this little one here. So we've got red. Here's my circle. It's gonna go around like that. Actually, I should do this in pencil real quick. I think about it. So here's circle one, and this will be another. All right. So here's my red. Again, a little bit orangish red, I think. I guess we'll find out. And now I'm gonna mix in a little bit of this yellow, knowing that the red overpowers the yellow a little bit. So see what color I get there. And kind of as I guess, the orange that comes out is a little bit grayed out. It's not super bright orange. Compare it to this orange that's on the little circle in the corner. If we kind of look at them, I guess I could pull it right next to it. The orange looks a little bit, whereas that red is pretty bright. I don't know, it's hard to tell. But let's just see how they compare as I keep mixing. This is kind of an experiment for me as well. Alright, so I want to wash my brush between all of these so I don't contaminate. So I'm going to wash my brush a little bit more regularly than I normally would. Because if I was making a regular painting, I kind of like the colors to mix together and cancel each other out a little bit and get dimmer when I'm mixing. But for this exercise, I want it to be clean. So yellow, again, is at the very top, so I'll paint the top yellow. This is a very bright yellow, which is cool. Now I'm going to mix that yellow in with this orange and make maybe a lighter orange. See what kind of light yellow orange I can have. Because there's kind of a spectrum between red and yellow. It's not just orange. There's like yellow orange, which is what I'm doing right now. But then there's kind of the red orange, which is which just has more red in it. Sounds somewhere like that. I'm going to try to achieve some kind of oh shoot, I messed it up. But I'm going to try to get it to be pretty smooth. See how I put some red right into the yellow. That's why I need to wash my brush thoroughly before I go. A little more yellow. There we go. There we go. And now, let's see, let's move towards blue. So on the way to blue, I've got green. See where I landed there. I think that's like around here. Okay. Just gonna get blue in. Now, ideally, I would also add white into here, but I'm afraid of this quick drying time on here. Alright, wash my brush, because this should be the bluest area. Let me focus the camera a little bit more. Let's see. There we go. The focus of the camera right now is so precise that sometimes this side of the paper will be in focus, but this side won't. A little bit at an angle. Anyway, so blue. I'm gonna grab full blue here and mix it there. Alright, and then I'm gonna move towards the bottom, which is purple. And purple is a really difficult color to mix. You'll see I'm mixing this. It's gonna be close to black here. So this is as kind of purple as it gets. It's almost black. I'm gonna mix in a lot more red to get a reddish purple, hopefully. But I just see this kind of sticking around that really dark color. I wonder if I wash my brush and start with red. So I think with the purple, gonna need to add some white in too, just to see what it is here. Alright, I'm gonna add white onto my palette, because white will help us see these dark colors, what color they actually are. So add some of that white. Mix that in here. And I can see a little bit more. But that's a really dull purple. Especially with the white mixed in. More blue into it. Yeah. So with these three colors, we cannot get any kind of bright purple with these three, but we have beautiful, beautiful oranges and yellows and reds. So let's see how that green turns out, actually, now that I see it. Never mixed my greens, so get a little bit more yellow on here. And this is really nice to know because if you're painting anything colorful, flowers, something like that, it's nice to know what colors are possible to mix, because if you choose really bright purple flowers and then you try to paint them and they just look, really dull, well, now that I have this color wheel, I can really tell for sure before I even paint them if it'll even work, which is nice. Now I'll make a more blue green to finish it out here. And I guess I could add some white into there. Let's see how that looks. Tinted. When you add white to a color, call that a tint. Like a few tints above. There. So I'll move this and we can see the color wheel. These bright areas, you can see the primary colors are much brighter. Let me make a tint of that blue just to show. The red, the yellow, the blue, the primary colors are actually brighter than the mixed colors. Though this one has a really nice orange and I would say a really nice green too. So the upper area of this circle is actually really nice. The bottom area, not so much. So this, I would say this color wheel has kind of a shape like, here, let me draw a circle again. Draw a little circle. So this will be my little symbol for it. So I think that this one has a nice area up top, but not the bottom. So I'm just going to fill in this circle, just the top area. So I know I'm going to leave the bottom area. This is just a little symbol for me to know, oh yeah, these three colors don't go towards purple, which on this little color wheel is the bottom. Anyway, so gonna go on to my next three colors and see if maybe I get a nicer purple. So it should be different in some way, at least. So already I think this is gonna make a nicer purple just looking at the red and the blue. The blue, this blue doesn't have that greenness to it, I don't think. It actually kind of does. But this red at least looks a little bit more, it's a cool red. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start with the purple. I can already see is much nicer. It's really dark again, but oh, you'll see when I tint it here. It's much nicer than the last one. You can see that purple already much nicer. Not just because these are higher quality paints, but because the actual colors themselves were slightly shifted in one way. But since that happened, we're probably going to sacrifice the green or the orange because each color wheel is going to have a weak spot. At least one. Alright, so let's add some more red and make a more of a reddish purple. Maybe like a magenta. Good. I'm gonna add more blue and make a more violet purple. Okay. Cool, so that's pretty rich, nice purple area here. Cool. So we're gonna move towards, let's go clockwise this time. So I'm gonna go blue to green to yellow. So I'm just gonna start here and go blue, green, yellow, orange, red, and that'll connect the circle. Going from red to purple is an interesting thing that our brain allows that to happen, because color starts, well, you could say it starts with red or infrared that you can't see, and it goes and it gets more and more blue, and then violet, and then ultraviolet you can't see. UV rays you've heard of, they hurt your skin. So they don't reconnect visually, but our brain kind of makes them connect, which is really interesting. But bright purples are hard to get because they're kind of unnatural for that reason. Anyways, I think that stuff is so cool. But this should be the same. Let's see, it should be really bright. The primary colors are always going to be the brightest in your circle, I think. And whatever colors you start with. So you can use that to your advantage in a painting, for sure. Here's a nice green. Blue green. Just the quality of the paint and how it's going on the canvas is interesting, how different it is. Watch this brush. The darker colors tend to overpower the lighter colors. So a little bit of blue into this yellow kind of will take it over and make it really dark. I'd use more yellow than blue for certainty. I guess I gotta go under this purple because these two are not mixing well. So I'm gonna make this circle kind of butt up against it. Alright, I need to get straight yellow now, so time to wash my brush really well, because yellow is the lightest color. It's the most sensitive color, and it's you're able to make really bright parts of your painting with yellow. You also have to have a really clean brush. Here's yellow, very bright. And now I'll kind of go towards orange. Nice. Now I just need pure red, and you can see that this bottom one is just brighter all the way around, actually. Quite a bit brighter than the other one, which tells me the colors are, we start with much brighter colors, and I think they are closer to being purely red, yellow, and blue. They're not so shifted as these cheaper paints are. The blue being kind of a greenish blue, the red being kind of an orange. The yellow seems to be, I don't know, fairly yellow. Those two are pretty similar, actually, the two yellows. This one's just brighter. And actually, all the way to the red looks pretty similar. Let me get some pure red. Pure red, just to see what color it is. But yeah, just because of the quality of the paint, this one's just going to be lighter. It's just chalkier. But this area is similar. In the green spectrum as well, it looks pretty similar. It's just this has quite a bit brighter purple. So, interesting. I did a painting last week on the channel, and it was this painting, which I used a different set of red, yellow, and blue. Where were those? I think they were right around here somewhere. Anyways, they were very skewed. That's why I tried to get bright green in the water area behind. And you can see that the green in the water isn't very bright. That's because the colors I was using was making it not really possible to get that bright. Same with the orange. I couldn't really get a bright orange. But I think those limitations really helped to draw this painting together. And if I would have added a brighter color, a fourth color into my primary 3 that I used for this, I think it might have overpowered. It might have been too distracting. The fact that I could only get a muted green and muted oranges, I really like. So that's why you can use different selections of color. I can mix and match these sets here, and maybe on purpose make it so I can't get a bright purple, or maybe on purpose make it so I can't get a bright orange, and use that kind of knowledge. But it's only out of some trial and error and practicing with certain paints. Now I know the 3 that I used for this painting of Olive. I know it'll get that kind of look, and it'll look sort of muted and cool. So yeah, I can use it to my advantage. So if you have any questions, send me an email or type it in the comments, and I'd love to help you out and learn with you. All right? Well, take care. See you next week.